Hi everybody, this is Rose of Sharon and I'm back again with another MMPR Zeo review. This one was called Bad Seeds, and Adam is actually growing this plant. It's a hybrid. He has no idea where he got the seeds, but not really looking into where they came from. He found them somewhere and he plants them, and they grow into this Venus flytrap, kind of like in Little Shop of Horrors, but this one, instead of liking blood, it likes metal. And Bulk and Skull get the ingenious plan to plant a branch off of that particular hybrid into their own because their other plant died. And it's so funny. But Skull has a scene. He says, "Oh, it was too. His life was too short for this world. Oh, cruel fate." And you just think, oh, actually, his acting was very convincing. I thought he does a really good job of hamming it up. You can feel like he's really feeling really bad about killing his plant, and then of course Bulk puts his arm around him. He says, it's part of the job, pal. It's part of the job. And that part actually made me laugh quite a bit. But there were a lot of pop culture references in this particular episode. Particularly, I'm turning Japanese. There were I'm tripping up. There were particularly a lot of cultural references in this episode, namely to that of the Rocky franchise. And the reason I say that is you've got one of the plants that sounds like Rocky, and the other one kind of sounds like Arnold Schwarzenegger or the guys from Living Color, we'll go pump you up. Those guys, I can't remember their names right now, but I think Haim Levy and Saban took a lot of their references from the popular shows of the day, or maybe it was SNL. It was either SNL or Living Color. I don't remember which that had the pump you up guys, but it was really quite funny that they did that. I thought, I wonder if kids knew anything about that. They might have, but I did. I remember watching those shows back in the day, and excuse me, back when TV was actually good. And this episode actually teaches a little bit about biology, which I thought was really clever. And Adam having his knowledge of plants really helped out in his situation, because later on something happens to him and it messes with his DNA. I don't know why I can't talk today. I'm really tripping up with my tongue. This stumble tongue. But personally, I really like the episode. I like all the cultural references. I enjoy the hijinks of Bulk and Skull and them having to stake out to wait for their plants to return. And I always felt like they were honorary rangers. I don't know if the actors felt that way. They probably did. I don't know if the originals had Bulk and Skull as adjuncts. Maybe they did. I'm not for sure. But it would have been interesting. In our fix, they do. They have they have those powers to become rangers in and of themselves. And why not? They need all the help they can get in fighting evil. But I liked the monsters. I thought the monsters were really well done and very well crafted and extremely detailed. That's what I enjoy about the show quite a bit, seeing the monster of the week. It's sort of the same premise. When Supernatural started, it was that as well, and Doctor Who, very akin. But both of those shows, Doctor Who and Supernatural, have become less and less about monsters in and of themselves and more about the journey of the titular character. Like in Doctor Who, it's about the Doctor. In Supernatural, it's more about the about Armageddon and just the battle between good and evil, basically. It's similar. With a lot of different shows, you see that, and especially with more common movies nowadays. It's all about good versus evil and tipping the scale in one or another's favor. And I know I said this in my review of Infinity War, but I'm still just completely aghast at that ending. Not gonna say what happened, but yeah, my mouth is completely slack-jawed from that. But I know it's not the ending because Easter egg proves otherwise. A little blip at the end that gives us a little bit of hope. I'm hanging on to that hope, man. I'm hanging on to that hope. But I also enjoyed the bloopers. Those are always something I look forward to in MMPR. But I'm glad I got a chance to review this. I don't know why she wants me to review Rockabye Rangers again, but I reviewed it once. I don't see why I have to do it a second time. But if she wants me to review any other episodes, I would be more than happy to. Especially, I want to see Dino Charge with Nightmare again, because I know there were a couple episodes with Nightmare in it. And I want the Nightmare-centric episodes, just because seeing them again would greatly brighten my day. It's already bright enough. But that being said, I'm going to talk a little bit about what I'm working on currently. I am writing a script called Hoops. It's about a young man by the name of Cal Hoops who is multiracial. And he's an aspiring basketball player. Actually, he's more than aspiring. He's got skill. And there's this bully in his team who is extremely jealous of him, especially in the fact that he's got the prettiest girl in school, just completely enamored. Well, they're an item. You know they're an item. They've been together since kindergarten, so it's not like they're going to get separated, but she has a concern later on in the script saying, well, Cal, what if you go pro? And he says to her, even if I do go pro, we won't be separated. And I thought, oh, yeah, that came from my head, but their romance will keep them together and they'll always have contact with one another. And what I came up with, which was just something that I had a daydream about, this was entirely something that I never thought I would come across, but this is more of a cautionary tale. It's sci-fi. And it's called The Oblator, Tabula Rasa. And the Tabula Rasa, if you know anything about psychology, I forget which psychologist said this, but he believed that when we're all born, we're clean slates or we're blank slates. And when we're in the process of development, we will imprint on our parents or ape them, and we'll choose one or another to emulate. The whole idea of this is the Oblator, when he's taken away from his parents at the very beginning. Their parents couldn't get pregnant, and they were able to, with genetic testing and a little bit of manipulation, and they know about his innate psychic ability, and they enhance that psychic ability in order for him to oblate people before they become soldiers. Because in this society, usually the intellect are completely brainwashed and they're put into menial tasks. Those who comply with the man or the corporate are put into higher offices with the government, so nobody questions anything. But this is a society that is ruled by technology. This is a society that lives by the worship of the almighty dollar. It's capitalism gone amok, actually. This is America gone insane. This is America on crack, basically. And the turning point here, the paradigm shift, is when he meets Sage and Jayan. And Sage is a Korean that she wants to be involved in the military, and she thinks she's doing her civic duty, and he falls in love with her. Well, they fall in love with each other. He's really never considered the notion of love before. He's always been so diligent to appease his his dad, the person that he considers his dad, because he never knew his parents. His parents were shipped away overseas to parts unknown. And he was never even given the chance to find them, even if he wanted to reach out through remote viewing or telepathy. He couldn't, because his brainwaves were blocked by the government. Yeah, this is messed up, but this is a cautionary tale, because I fear that, and I know this sounds very paranoid of me, but I fear that this is where our society's headed. So I've thinking that if the man ever sees what I've written, I might be shackled and thrown into a jail somewhere. But, you know, someone's got to tell the truth. Truth tellers have to speak out. And better now, better late, or actually I shouldn't say better late than never. Now is the time. Now is the time for us to put down cell phones and unite and become more of a community. Work in the community, make the community better. Deal with the problems in the community. There are some other things that I'm working on. I know that I haven't really started yet, but it's my next project that I'll be working on. It's basically an African American ghost hunting adventure dealing with psychics, and I thought, why not make a ghetto version of it? It would be fun. We need one. Why not? We've done everything with mainly Caucasian audience involved, and why not have some diversity? Make it a little bit more interesting. We like those movies, yes we do, but we need more color. Pardon the pun. We need more color in the movie industry, darn it. But it's my idea, and it was someone actually said, I was telling her about Dashi, and one of the things they says was, I know that you know. And I thought, I'm going to use that, and Dashi, you're my inspiration, so half the credit goes to you. But instead it has a connotation of the whole precognition, the idea of we have innate intelligence that we don't activate. Well, we don't know how. Some of us do, some of us are more alert to it. I'm still developing my talent, so, I mean, I'm slightly psychic, but other than that, there are those of us who feel it all the time, and we're in constant, we've just get barraged by the other side, not knowing what to do. They turn this off! It's like a megaphone, but man, I can't imagine. I guess I'm glad I'm not entirely completely psychic, or I'd go insane. A lot of psychics do, but they learn how to control it. And I think that's, interesting. I'm going to work on that, and I'm going to work on Bruno's Big Day, which is, I went to a wedding, an actual Hispanic wedding, so I have source material I can integrate. I'm going to use the whole cord idea, because I've never seen that done at a wedding before, but they use a cord, like a binding in an Irish wedding, to signify that the bride and the groom are now one unit. It's the same thing. It's like you're plowing the field with this person. You're yoked together. I thought, it's so sweet. I'd never seen that. I thought, that's so cool. That's so interesting, and cultural differences, but I just thought it was the most beautiful thing I'd ever seen, and I thought, how spiffy is that? I love culture, but yeah, that actually learned something while going to a wedding. Imagine that. Yeah, so I'm going to use that. I'm going to use the whole yoked together cord that I witnessed at this particular wedding. It was really quite extravagant, just absolutely gorgeous. I don't really have that much else to say other than I'm saving for my trip. I'm trying to learn Ibrit, so yeah, I don't know that much Ibrit. I only know one song in Ibrit. I know some Yiddish words. I don't know if that's going to help me, but I'm going to continue. I need a phrase book, and eventually I'll get a phrase book, but I think that'll be easier for me to just go through it, because I know pronunciation after having encountered a speaker on YouTube. They have their own channel, so I'll continue learning from her, and hopefully I'll be able to impress some people before I go, because for some odd reason I'm catching on to it. It's not like romance, anything that's involved with the Latin cognate, because Latin cognates are really easy for me to catch on to, due to the fact that I learned Spanish when I was really young, and then I integrated that into my my junior high year and my high school year and my college year, and I took only one French CC class, and I decided, oh, let me go ahead and try to learn other languages just to torture myself. But no, not really. I wanted to learn just because I wanted to challenge myself, not torture myself, and I did. But that's what I'm up to. I haven't really done any other parodies well, I have, but there's one for March. I'm not going to post it yet. I've got a lot of songs that I had sung for Mother's Day that I'm not going to post until next year, year after. I'm planning ahead. But next year, I'm not sure which group I'm going to go with, but I'm saving money. So I'm going to be going to Israel. That's the plan. And it's a 14-hour flight from here to Tel Aviv. Oy vey. However, it will be completely worth every little second. But that's all I got to share. So when I do go, I will be taking plenty of videos, and there's going to be a video on here. So, you know, that way you can see what I see. So until next time, live long, prosper. Ciao tutti.